And it's day 46 of 50 days of fitness. And um, so I earned my first cup of coffee, and I am kind of dragging. And I mentioned that the other day. I don't know if that was yesterday or the day before, but this has been a tough week for me. And I gotta admit, I don't know. I mean, if I weren't doing the series where I had committed to doing 50 days in a row, I think I probably would have taken a day off. I worry about taking a day off because when you break your routine, you never know how that's going to, whether or not that's going to lead to just giving up. And I don't want to give up, but I will say this morning I was like my ankle and my lower back are very sore. And they're not swollen or anything, but they're very sore. And my ankle was kind of acting like it wanted to give out on me a little bit. And I think honestly, it may be, it's one of those kind of good news, bad news kind of things. I think that those things right there, they're really tight because I've been strengthening those muscles. And so the muscles getting stronger is a good thing, but it kind of indicates that maybe we have a little bit of an imbalance there, that maybe I need to think about, doing some different exercises to kind of counterbalance some of that stuff. And like my lower back, I think that's from doing the squats, that my butt is getting stronger, and that strength kind of pulls against your back. So so I have to think about that a little bit. And so I guess I thought that that'd be one thing to talk about today is what do you do when you get sore or things like that. And I think that we all kind of struggle with that because we have this balancing act. You don't want to stop and give up any progress, but you also don't want to injure yourself. You don't want to do something that's going to cause an injury. If you have an injury, of course, that could end up really sidelining you. And so, in a typical, that's one of the reasons in a typical exercise regimen that they will tell you that you should have some rest days built in to your exercise regimen, like maybe one or 2 days a week where you just take off. And honestly, that probably is a better way to do it. It's just the way that I've been doing this. I've been, it's following a different protocol. And it might be good to take a day off, once or twice a week. But we're down to 4 more days after today, and we're going to finish this out. And we'll kind of see where it goes. So another thing about soreness, and I did this for a long time, and I'm looking back on it, I think it was a mistake. One thing that you can, of course, do is take some Tylenol or some Advil or, something along those lines. And within reason, that's okay if you don't make it a regular habit. And I was working out a lot. And so if I would get sore, I would just go ahead and do it. And I took Advil. I know, because both of those things, I didn't really realize that about Advil, but both of those can be problematic. If you take too much Tylenol, you can overdose on Tylenol. And I'm trying to remember, I can't remember if it affects your liver or your kidneys. I think it affects your liver. And so while Tylenol is reasonably safe, you don't want to take huge amounts of it, and you don't want to take it continuously. I was under the impression that Advil was much safer than that, and that you could take Advil pretty regularly. And I mean, you still had some things that you had to pay attention to, so like an Advil is like usually 200 milligrams, And I would take 3 or 4 at a time. So I was taking 600 to 800 at a time. And there was a reason for that is I had read that if you are dealing with inflammation, if you're trying to have something like that, that it doesn't really affect inflammation until you get to 600 milligrams or more. And so, and I learned that when I was having all my knee surgeries and all of those things. That's what the doctors had told me. And, you know, when you're having knee surgery and things like that, you know, they routinely tell you take 600 milligrams or 800 milligrams, and there's a limit that you can take in a day, but you can do that. And so I was routinely taking Advil. I took Advil every night before I went to bed. It helped me sleep better because my back would get sore, and if I took the Advil, it would kind of take that edge off, and I did. I slept better. But I was taking it every day. So I was taking it every night for sure. And then anytime I would have something, I would take it for a few days during the day as well. And I didn't really realize that there were that many problems with Advil, but there are. And so my oncologist, when he was kind of going over stuff with me, he's like, "Why are you taking all this?" And I told him, and he's like, "You got to get off that. You need to quit taking it." He's like, "I'm not saying never take it, but you should not be taking it every day." And it also can affect, I can't remember there, I think it's your liver or your kidneys. It can affect that, but it has other things too. I've been hard of hearing, especially like in my right ear, forever. and it's been for so long that I don't think that it was Advil that caused it. But that was one of the things that I found out is that it can also cause hearing loss. And I never, ever knew that. So you may have, and so I guess the point of this is that if you need to take some, you know, every once in a while, that's okay, you know, but don't be taking it all the time. That's a mistake I was making, and I think I'm okay, but I would say it can lead to other health issues if you are doing that all the time. So that's the thing. Those are the quick and easy things to do. And I think that's what we all kind of get drawn to is, you know, oh yeah, well, that'll just take care of it like that. And there's a place for that. I mean, if you're injured and you need to take it, you need to take it. But I think one of the other things we need to do is kind of think about what we're doing and see if we can make some adjustments where we can still work out and still have results, but maybe, you know, with less injury. And, you know, one thing, a simple thing, hot showers or hot baths, those can help a lot, honestly. Or I hate doing this. I've done it a time or two, but I hate doing this. You can also do ice baths or cold showers, cold baths. And that is actually supposed to be really, really good for you. I hate being cold. I just hate it. It is like severe torture for me to do those things. But some people just swear by it, you know, absolutely swear by it. So those are things you can do that are non-invasive and have very little chance of creating other problems that you can do. And kind of working with injury, you know, again, I've mentioned the knees to toes guy. He's great. He has really good ideas about things if you're having different problems that might help offset some injuries. So, you know, you can do it with training. You can do it with a lot of different ways that you might go about adjusting for it. And, you know, maybe you need to take a rest day. You know, a rest day now is maybe better than getting injured and not being able to do anything for, you know, several weeks, something along those lines. So, Or another thing you can do is maybe you switch your exercise routine. You know, if you are biking all the time and you're having a problem with that, maybe you lay off the biking, but you swim instead. Or if you're running all the time and you're having some running injuries, maybe you bike instead. So, you know, you can adjust things and stay active and kind of deal with it. And another thing that's really good, I would say, is yoga. You know, if you're having some of these problems and all that, yoga is a really good exercise to add in that I think also really helps prevent different kinds of problems from training. So anyway, that's my little, you know, off the top of my head, things that I do when I get really sore or feel like, you know, I need to make a change. And we're going to call it a day, and we got 4 more days, and we'll see how it goes. You know, tomorrow is Sunday, so it's Bump It Up Sunday, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm so tired and sore, but we're going to do it. And I will see you guys tomorrow for day 47 of 50 Days of Fitness. Take care, my friends. Bye.